Welcome to this Circle of Resilience. And today I'm talking to Anastasia Moiseeva. Hi.
Hi, welcome to everyone. Thanks for hosting me here. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Yes. I will tell more about Anastasia later, but as always, we start by grounding ourselves. So take a moment to settle in. Pick a seat where you feel comfortable if you haven't already. You can start rubbing your hands. Create some warmth.
Yes, I think I need. My fingers are very cold.
Yes.
Even it's sunny outside.
And then if they're a little bit more warm, you can use the warmth to put anywhere on your body. So go inward. Give some love and attention to any place that you feel could benefit from your hands.
Yes, I think neck is a good place.
Neck is a really good one. And just take your time to go through all the parts of your body that you want to give some love and attention. Maybe you can already start to feel your breath calming down. Or maybe notice that it's quite quick or higher in your chest. So just notice, just be aware of what you're feeling. And once you have been through all the places that need some love, you can rest your hands wherever you want, maybe one on your belly or on your womb space, and the other one on your heart. Maybe both of them on your belly. Find whatever works for you. And you can close your eyes if you feel comfortable, or peek through your eyelashes. And then we'll take 3 conscious breaths together. And on the first inhale, you can maybe let everything that is pulling you to the past and everything that has been, you can let that come up. On your exhale, you can let it go. So everything that you no longer need, maybe something that just happened or something that is from longer ago, just exhale it all. And if you need more than one breath, of course, feel free to take more. And on the next inhale, you can let everything come up which is pulling you to the future. Anything that you still want to do, that you're looking forward to, or maybe resisting a little bit. And gather it all, and on your exhale, you slowly let it go for now. If you need, you can make sounds to really let it go, or sigh. Maybe even yawn. And then the next inhale that we'll do together, we use to fully land in this moment. So you can inhale anything that you no longer need right now. And by exhaling, you let it go. You sink a little bit deeper in your body, in your seat. You feel welcome in this moment. And when you are ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Let the world back in. Maybe wiggle a little bit. I know I like to move to get myself awake and aware.
It reminds me a bit a beginning of my vocal class, which I take twice per month. So it always starts to feel your body, some movement, and breathing with your belly. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, this is what
Yeah.
I do every second week.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. It's really good to have those moments to ground every once in a while. Yeah.
And what I really like, as you told, and feel yourself to be welcomed in this
Mhm.
moment.
Mm.
It sounds very powerful.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. I believe we'll talk about that in our conversation. But to start it off, we'll light our candle. So everyone at home who's joining us, feel free to grab one. And I'll light it for Anastasia and for me. Um, for everyone around the world joining us, maybe in person, like really joining and signing up, but also everyone who is connected to us. So every woman who comes to this circle online, we all have connections with many more people. And by lighting this candle for ourselves, we also light the paths of anyone we meet or anyone that has ever been in our lives and we have crossed ways or paths with. So by lighting it for ourselves, we also light it for the whole world. Yeah, I think that's what I wanted to say. Is there anything or anyone you would want to add to our candle?
I think it's a beautiful ritual to feel that indeed we are all connected.
Yes, we
Even
are.
in different spaces, in different countries or different time zones, through ritual, it feels like we are
We are.
connected.
Yes. Beautiful. Well, as always, I put it behind me to feel the warmth and the connectedness in my back. So, yes, I like to start this way. Yeah. Anastasia, we've known each other for a few years now. We've met through mutual friends and acquaintances. And I think from the very start, I felt with you that we were kind of on the same level, kind of same way of thinking, and at the same time, still adding things to each other. But so by talking to you, I always felt enriched and learning more or sinking more into my own wisdom by listening to you and hearing myself talk to you. So when I thought of people for this circle of resilience, of course, I thought of you to invite you. And you are just like me, a life coach. You have many, many years of experience in teaching in the University of Rotterdam, I believe. Yes, that's in the Netherlands for those of you around the world who have never heard of Rotterdam. And I know you originally come from Siberia.
Indeed.
So you are a woman of the world. And yeah, I would love to hear what has, yeah, called you to talk to me. Of course, I invited you, but is there anything you would like to start with today?
Yes. First of all, one more time, thank you. And what I want to say is really mutual. When I met you first time, I could feel that there is a click between us. And in other way, maybe to put like we on the same vibrations, we resonate. And this is actually direct answer to your question why I'm here today. Of course, because I know you. And when you told me about the circle of resilience, first the name resonated with me. And then I checked the website and I just felt, yeah, I felt it resonates with me. I can be part of it. And of course, because it's also as you explained me, will be to share your experience, to talk with other people, and indeed for me it was always very easy to talk to you. So it means that I just can be myself. I can let conversation go in a natural way. So this is why I'm here.
Yeah. Thanks. And you're very, very welcome. As I said in the grounding in, it can be so nice to welcome yourself, but also welcome each other. And in that way, and I think that's what I always feel talking to you, that we welcome each other with whatever there is, and we feel where we want to share. So
Exactly. And since we're talking about welcoming, I think this is what we used so much to welcome other people. And for me, when you told like welcome yourself in the moment, it felt like, yes, indeed, that's what we don't do to us every day. We welcome other people, but we don't welcome ourselves in the moment. So it was like, oh, nice insight.
yeah, yeah. Oh, you can already take that away from this conversation. Good. Yeah. Can you tell us a bit? That's what happens when your mind goes faster than your mouth. Can you tell us a little bit more about resilience and how that resonated to you?
What I learned over years and from my life experience, resilience for me, it's a skill, it's a way to bounce back very quickly in a couple of hours or in a couple of days. Doesn't matter how wise you are, I think life always challenges us in different ways. And more older you become, and hopefully more wiser you become, you understand that there is always a challenge. And there are moments when you can be very down and can be very high. But also what you learn with time, you learn to be more resilient. And I will repeat one more time. For me, it's basically bouncing back very quickly. If something happened in your life, you give yourself time, depending how serious the situation, you say, I give myself time to be sad or frustrated or experience any other emotion or negative thoughts for 12 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, or 72 hours. It depends how challenging is it. And then I know that I'm going to bounce back. So I experience these emotions until the level at the moment I have to experience it. And then I go back to my reality even more empowered and more happy. So this is what for me it's being resilient, bouncing back quickly by using all your wisdom, emotional and mental.
I like that because it already has some different ingredients in it. Like I hear something about checking in and really feeling what's there. I hear something about taking the time, no matter how long you need. And that it totally depends on the situation. Yeah, so can you I hear myself asking kind of the same questions to everyone, but I think that's this is such a cool topic to talk about, and even though it's somewhere the same for all of us, I love how everyone explains it is always a little bit different because it's linked to your experience. So I guess that's why I always kind of use the same questions, because it's your story, and I'm always really curious about your story. So can you maybe tell us about a few moments, or maybe one moment in your life where you feel you used resilience, or where you learned a lot about resilience?
Okay, I think first maybe I explain different components. As you told, I feel there are different components, and then we'll link back to one of my experience.
Perfect.
So about different components, which I already mentioned, it's our emotional state and also our thinking patterns or our cognitive component. And as we know, first emotions come, emotions kick off, and especially if you have some very strong trigger, then our emotions is always a reaction on this trigger. And once the first, I will say this first level of innate emotions pass, then I do analysis. I ask myself, how do I feel? Am I sad? Or I have fear about something, I'm angry, or I'm frustrated. And this is an indication for me what's going on right now. And actually last week I had similar very nice discussion with one of my friends about emotions, and she is a coach. And we came to this kind of classification, of course take it from our experiences and from some books. So when we are sad, it means something has to go from our life. Maybe a dream or event or a person or an illusion or expectations. When we are scared about something, so it means that we don't have a clear vision. There is much of uncertainty, and this is why we are scared. So what I thought, if we are angry, it means that we are not happy with the situation. We want to have a change. We want to change, or quite often we want that another person change, or life change around our circumstances. So this is where I go, and this is the first component. You identify what actually you feel. Journaling also helps a lot. And then this is where second level comes, your thinking patterns. How do I think about the way how I feel? I hope it makes sense, yes? And if, for example, you're sad and something has to go from your life, you sit and feel and think and analyze what has to go. Is it about a relationship? Is it about an event? It's about an expectation. So I think it's clear. And then depending on this stage about your thinking pattern comes next stage, how I'm going to act. What will be my behaviors in relation to this? So I think it sounds a bit maybe scientific, but as you told, I worked for a long time at Erasmus. I have scientific background, and I love science the same way as I like science and physics, in the same way I like metaphysics and spiritual part of our life, and I love to bring it together. But when I look at a complex situation and try to put, let's say, in blocks, in scheme or in algorithm, it also helps me to simplify situation and deal with it by, basically by simplifying things. So this is maybe my first, not maybe, this is my first example and answer. And to experience which I can link, obviously, the last 1.5 years during my PhD. This was one of the most intense experiences in my life. From one side, it was end of my PhD, and it also became very clear for me that I don't see myself as a part of academia in a conventional way, to continue grow from PhD researcher to a professor. But this was my dream a couple of years back, so it was a very good reality check. So what happened to me, I basically had to reinvent myself and understand what will be my next step. But there also was another part of this process, of course, to write thesis and defend, which takes a lot of energy and a lot of time. And what I learned, just to try to make a story quite short, according to my expectations, I was planning to finish my PhD and defend somewhere end of 2012, October, November, December. But for different reasons, because of myself, but also external circumstances, other people who were involved, like my supervisor and degree committee, my PhD defense was postponed to April, so a couple of months later. And that time, when I look back in 2012, it was a catastrophe for me. It's like, I want to finish it right now. I can't wait 2 weeks more, 1 month more. Impossible. Right now, I'm out of it. I want to close this chapter of my life. So in the end, I have to get in peace with the situation. But what I learned, and this is, I borrow from a sister of a very good friend with whom we discussed the situation, and she told me, Anastasia, what I learned in my life, every date comes. And this was such a powerful, I remembered for all my life, like for last 8-9 years of my life, every date comes. And sometimes we need to have some patience. And this is also, if you're going back to resilience and bouncing back, we know that some people have challenges during this lockdown time. It's about fear, and fear related to uncertainty, because we don't know where it will be finished. In 2 months, 6 months, and 1 year. And but this is how I look at it. Every date comes. Doesn't matter in 2 months or 6 months, it will come, it will be over. The question, what you're going to do during this time, how you can take the best out of the situation. Okay, I'm going to breathe out and give you space to ask more questions.
Oh.
Or hopefully it's clear and good example.
It's funny that you say that, because I instantly can feel that when you say every date comes. Okay. And if I love it, because this is totally a tiny situation. It's resilience to me usually links to bigger things, but when I look at the things that have been bothering me the last week, it's tiny things, you know. Oh, I wanted to have this done already, or I should have done this. You know, my to-do list is long. I want to get this over with. I want to finish this. I want to get it into the world, because for me it's about well, not pushing myself, but it's this urgent feeling, but it's also coming from a deeper layer of urgency that I really want to share this, you know. So it's not only about I need or have to, or you know, the voices inside your head, but it's also about there's this fire inside of me that wants to come out. So even though it's tiny things, when I think of every day comes, I can also feel that I might not have done it today, but the day that I will come, you know, the day that I finish this, that we've put this into the world, that anything that you basically want to happen, that they will come. And of course I know there's also things that won't happen. So I can imagine there's, you know, I talked to another woman a few weeks back who said, yeah, I really wanted to have a baby, but I noticed I can't. I'm not fertile, so I cannot have a baby. So that date might not come. But then maybe the date that, how to put this? You know, I feel like there's still a little bit of hope in every date comes. That might not be the way you expect it to be, but maybe the thing you need will come. And I liked what you said in between. It's also about what is your answer to the situation right now. So it might not be how you want it to be right now, but what is your reaction? How do you respond to that?
Yes, exactly. What also came to my mind while you gave examples about yourself, I think it's also, again, I will speak a bit like kind of algorithm and putting in boxes. If we want that something happens, but it doesn't happen, quite often there is either external factors, for example, lockdown, or internal factors, or combination of it. In both cases, we can be very frustrated. So if it's about external circumstances, we can be extremely frustrated and put ourselves in a victim position because we don't have power over the situation. And my way to deal with it, acceptance, trust to the universe. So this is, we talk about hope. We know that the day will come. It's about hope and it's about trust. And since we don't really have power about the circumstances, and now I wanted to say something, and it slipped all from my mind. Yes, you just change your perspective about the situation. but perspective in a way how you can feel better and more resilient in this situation. When we go to internal circumstances, something has to happen, but it doesn't happen because of me, not because of someone else. This is where we also can get very frustrated about ourselves. And this is again a space for internal work. Yeah? Why I'm, for example, sabotaging myself, why I don't do it. And we're going back, is it about fear? And I don't have a clear vision or what any other fear, but it actually could be that internally you're not fully ready and you're pushing yourself there. So it's really a subtle line, yes, between should I actually push myself or should not push myself. And it's again, what I can say, it's again a learning process, but also actually what I wanted to give a comment you told, like I have to be there, I want to share it with other people. And here, if you really feel like I want to share with other people, I will say go and share. And it's about giving and receiving when we feel that our glass is full and water goes over the edge. And we really have to go and share with other people that it doesn't get spoiled. Yeah, so this is how I feel.
I like it. Yeah, that cup is really my go-to metaphor when talking about, well, taking care of myself. Actually, that's the first thing, and it's so true what you say, that we can only give. You can give from an no, when it's fully empty you cannot give, but when there's still a little bit, I'm a kind of person who also likes to give when my cup is almost empty. Even though I know that's not how it works. I can only fully, freely, abundantly give when I've first taken care of myself. Yeah. And there was another thing triggering me about the internal and the external factors. Yeah, I like how you explained that. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about that subtle line that you talked about knowing when do I push myself and when do I, am I holding myself back or am I pushing too hard? You know, how you can notice that difference. And if I had to think of that myself, it's usually the sign of fear or trust that happens. So maybe I'm spoiling your answer, but is it kind of the expansion feeling or the crumpy? Am I talking from a place of lack or a place of abundance? Yeah. So, but maybe.
No, it's good. It only means that as always we're on the same wave.
Yeah.
Even going to use the same terminology. And I also like your example with shrinking, like when it's fear and you don't want to do it, you shrink. But if you feel expansion, like, yes, I'm ready to go, I want to share. If there is something on my agenda and I don't do it, and again, I do certain analysis, yes, why I don't want to do it. First, it could be that it's not important for me and doesn't have priority. For whatever reason, I put it on my agenda, but I don't have any interest. I don't want to do it. So I'm just postponing, and procrastinate. So it's very important to know what kind of label you put to things on your agenda. Is it have high priority for you and high interest? So basically high priority and level of urgency, put in this way. And if it doesn't have high priority, it's not important, you're not going to do it. And, or it also could be that it's on your list just because you promised to someone or you want to do because other people expect from you, people whose opinion is very important for you. and even you knew inside of you, I don't want to do it, but you still put on your agenda. But again, it doesn't have importance for you, it doesn't have high priority for you, neither urgency. And if you did this analysis and it's pretty clear, I want to do it, it's important for you, it has urgency for me, it has high priority, then it goes second level of analysis, why I don't do it. Sometimes it can be very simple, like I'm physically very tired, I'm cognitively very tired, I'm tired emotionally because my agenda is pretty full, I really want to do it, but I don't take enough care about myself. And it can be third scenario why you don't do it, because you have a fear. You have a fear, you have a limiting belief, and this is why you don't do it. So for example, like you are doing now this beautiful video, so I don't give example with you, but just an example, yes? So someone decided I want to take interview from different ladies, and then you don't do it because you think, oh, I don't know how to be naturally in the flow and ask questions. Or maybe my English is not good enough. Or because I don't know how to montage videos anymore. Or it's too complex how to upload it. So there are different reasons who can keep you from not doing it.
Can you tell us about how you know this in yourself? So for example, if you would be, and maybe it's not only about procrastinating, you know, we've taken that path, but also about how to, I think it's about prioritizing also how you care for yourself. And I know you have some tricks that you use to make that
later today.
a priority. So can you tell us, how do you do this in yourself when you notice these things, or when you, yeah, how would you approach this?
Body-mind connection. That's exactly what you told, like when you feel good about it, if it comes from the place of love and abundance, you feel kind of expansion in your body. And when it comes from fear or expectation of other people, you feel shrinking. And I think it's years of experience and years of self-work to feel your body. Like, for example, I know if I really don't want to do it, I have this nausea feeling in my throat. Yes. So when it's fear, it's a very tense area around my heart. So when it's stress, it's pressure, it comes to your neck, it comes to your shoulders. So when it's being not excited, but extremely a high level of fear, you can feel it in your stomach. So you feel this communication, what's going not only with your thinking patterns, but also you feel what's going on inside of your body and what kind of emotions you experience.
Yeah, so if I listen to you, it's, you kind of, like the steps you were talking about, you know, you go first through the first layer of the emotion, then you analyze what's going on here. What am I feeling? What is this emotion? Where do I feel it in my body? How can I listen to the message it has for me? And then also analyzing your thinking patterns. Are there any limiting beliefs? Are there, yeah, what is my brain telling me? Or what kind of story have I entered? Because that's also a way I like to think of it sometimes, especially when I blame others. It can be this story of, for me, it's usually I'm not good enough. But not always that's the reality. That's just the story that I tell myself and that I'm hearing in my head, but it's not the same as reality. So I imagine that's what you mean by the thinking patterns, right? To analyze that. But your body is the way to enter, if I read it correctly.
Both way. Body, yes, I think body is very powerful, which I learned with time later, because for, I think until my 27, 30, it was a lot here in my head. I think in the last 10, 12 years, it's more about also my emotions and about my body. And indeed, when you do this kind of analysis, when you from emotions go to a conscious level and do this inner work, this thinking, it's also about being honest to yourself. So quite often it could be that when you're telling story to yourself, I'm not good enough, it's not actually true. But it could be, for example, well, there is space for improvement. I don't know how to do it. So it's not necessarily I'm not good enough. I don't know how to do it. This is why I'm scared. Or, for example, I agreed to participate in this and this event or an activity with other people because if I don't do it, I'm scared what they're going to think about me, or I'm scared that I'm not going to be part of this community anymore. So then it goes, then you have to be very honest to yourself, how high your level of self-confidence, how much self-sufficient you are. So, and this is what I'm always talking to coaches, to people with who I work. You have to be very, very honest to yourself. Why you're doing it, why it's important for you, or why it's not important for you. And sometimes, of course, it's very difficult to admit that it's because we want to fit, we want to please others. That's why we do certain things.
Yeah. Yeah, and what I also love about that is that, or what I learned from that is that I used to judge myself for doing that. So that's the, once you become aware of these patterns, you can become judgy about that you're doing that. But it's also how we were built. It's how we need community. We need each other to survive. We're really group-based animals who need this community. So it's also, we do this because it helps us survive. And even though it's not in the world we're living in today, we evolve and we learn that we don't always need those patterns, but at the same time, they're so helpful. So I love how it's always both, it might be a pattern that you think is not working anymore. And at the same time, it's what helped you survive up until this point. But that's another track that my head took there. What I really wanted to ask you, what kind of practices do you use for yourself that help you to do this, navigate this, come back to yourself, fill your cup, be resilient? What things help you to do this?
Consciously making time for myself and my agenda. Because in the past, again, during my PhD and after my PhD, I felt like my agenda has to be fully booked. A lot of events. There was no transition time from one activity to another activity until I went to the point that I think age between 27 and 30, I experienced lots of migraines. So my body basically told, well, can you leave me in peace? Can I rest for a while? So what I learned about myself, I should be very careful to put myself to the age. Because for a very long time, I can run this marathon, and then my body like, Anastasia, no, I can't do it anymore. So please leave me in peace. So since I learned it, as I told, then I learned to make a conscious space in my agenda, time for myself before I put myself to the level that I'm, what is in English, output? Fully
exhausted.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That I'm fully exhausted. And so having days in my agenda, so as Marcela told, I work with people, so also as a coach. So I have a couple of days in my agenda which only days for me. And it's days for self-care and days for personal development, for personal growth. So I can decide which day, for example, I only go for walks or meditate or sleep, play with my cats, read books. And days when I listen a webinar or online course. So I can, of course, combine half of the day, do something for self-growth, and other day go for long walks. So for me, it's very important to keep these 2 days totally free of any responsibilities of anything. It's really days for myself. Then also having my own schedule and clear boundaries. So I know what time I have my coaching sessions, and then I also have enough time between my coaching sessions. And of course, sometimes it could happen that someone reach me out and person needs help immediately. And I can make an exception. There can be only, let's say, 45 or 60 minutes between 2 coaching sessions. But then this is an exception, and I know it's again conscious choice why I do this exception. What I always telling people, so first you define your rules of your game, rules of your life. And these rules are based on conscious choice of knowing yourself, being honest to yourself, knowing your energy level, knowing your emotional resilience, level of emotional involvement. And then once you have very clear your rules of the game, only then you can make exceptions. And then your exceptions, they are very conscious. But when you don't have a clear rules of the games, everything what happens in your life, this is an exception. So for me, it's really important. It's just on my agenda. Exercise, daily walks, prepare a healthy meal in the evening, and yes, days for myself, for personal growth, for rest, and also weekend, for example, 1 day or 1.5 or half of day, my relationship, spending time with my partner. So I just defined which areas of my life are important for me, and on what I want to focus, what is important for me and what is not important for me. So this is my daily and weekly rituals.
Nice. Yeah, what comes up to me right now is that it's so good to have that awareness and knowing of what do I need, what's my rhythm, what is my natural way of filling my cup, and of course, or maybe not emptying it, but using your energy for good and for the work that you love to do. And just to give people who are watching an example, just before our conversation started, I texted you saying, is it okay if we start half an hour later? Because I felt, I'd been working all day, and I do, as I said, I do what I love, so I get energy out of it, but I felt like I was on my screen all morning. I was fixing different things. I was thinking about different things. I was trying to prioritize, and I felt like I need some time outside. So I made the conscious decision. So what I try to put into words is, even when your schedule has become different, or it doesn't yet have this nice balance between working and relaxing and time for yourself, even then we can still make that conscious choice of just asking, is it okay for you to move 30 minutes later our meeting? And if not, that's fine as well. I can't make you follow my rhythm, but then I know, okay, so now I still want to do this conversation, and then after I make it into a priority because I still feel that I need it. So I like that. It's really good to know your rhythm, to make it into a priority, to have it in your schedule. And even if that doesn't work, you still have the freedom and option to make the conscious decision to change, to make this space, even if it wasn't there, or even when it wasn't enough. Because that's what sometimes happens to me, that I, in different phases of my cycle, or just through life, I need different amounts of rest and relaxation and time for myself. So I might have made a schedule that looks good, but at the end of the day means, no, it wasn't enough, or I had too much space, but usually we fill that up pretty quickly. So it feels like this dance between knowing what you need, and having the courage to adjust whenever you had it wrong or didn't see it coming. Yeah.
Exactly. And what you told, it's really caught my attention, and it's I agree with you. You're totally right. So it's knowing yourself, basically knowing your energy,
Mm-hmm.
and then you plan your life. If it's possible, yes, to according your level of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And there is one of the article which I love a lot, and I recommend so many people. I think it's still available online, free PDF somewhere. It's from Harvard Business Review, and the name of the article: "Manage your energy, not your time." And also, example what you taught, it's a beautiful example for many ladies that we have a different level of energy through the months. And when we know about ourselves, and when we are lucky to know if our rhythm goes as a clock, we also can accordingly adjust our agenda. I have one friend who is lucky because her days come as a clock, and then she knows she never agrees to go for a party or for dinner or for anything. She just excludes all social activities. Just looks, no, it's not going to happen this weekend, or not is going to happen this day, because she knows her energy very low, and she also doesn't feel well.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, about knowing yourself, about knowing your energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Well, I think we can talk about this
Yes.
way more.
Yes.
And I love how this, just to make the link to resilience, if for people who feel like it's off topic, it isn't, because this is what helps you to. I think I talked to it about it with someone else. You know, when you feel like you're blown out or brushed away by life, by something that happens, knowing yourself and your rhythms helps you as an anchor to ground yourself back again and to be resilient and to know your energy levels and know what you need. And I know that you have prepared um, practice for us that you would like to share. So if there isn't anything else you would like to tell us, then
Well, I think we discuss a lot, and hopefully people who will listen can connect points, and that our discussion does have sense and logical flow. I think for us does. So I think nothing what I want to add, and I had a couple of exercises in my head. And as I shared with you at the beginning of our discussion, behind the scene, that I will give an exercise depending on the content of our discussion. And since we discussed before about this body-mind connection and how you make choices, yeah, how you feel what is right, what is a tangible line, I want to give an exercise. You can say meditation or an exercise. So, Marcella, how do you see it? Do we do it together right now? Or should I just give step-by-step instruction, or we just involve everyone?
let's just do it right now.
Okay, just let's do right now. Look at, take a situation in your life where you're not sure what you have to do in this situation, what choice you have to do in this situation. And ideally, that you have 3 possible scenarios how the situation can evolve. And 3 possible scenarios what choice you can make. So let's give a couple of seconds for everyone to...
I'll close my eyes because it's easier to check in.
So yes, exactly. So let's do with you, Marcella, and we kind of expect that people will have more or less, will need more or less the same time as you. So I will do with you. So yeah, please close your eyes. You also just can a couple of times breathe in and exhale through your mouth. Feel balanced and grounded. Then see and feel the situation and define 3 possible scenarios, A, B, C, D, or A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3. Let's say A, B, C. And once you're ready and you feel and see it, just say yes.
Yes.
Yes. There is one more thing, Marcela. Do you have space behind you that you can stand and you just can walk and do a couple of steps? So it's not only about standing. Okay, can you do it, please?
Yes.
Maybe you need to adjust your camera.
Yes. So people can, I'm not sure if you can see my head, but.
Okay, perfect. So you close your eyes and ensure that you have around like 5-6 steps in front of you.
Yes.
Yeah? So you close your eyes and now imagine that you are on a crossroad and you have 3 ways or even 4 ways. So let's say 4 ways. You have one way you can straight walk forward, and then you can go to the left diagonal and you go to the right diagonal. And even imagine, Marcela, there is a way behind you, you also can move backward. So now be there, just see and feel it. You're at the crossroad. There are 4 possible ways. And bring in front of your eyes a screen with the first possible scenario. And when you're ready, follow your body, follow your instincts, start to walk a path, choose one of the paths out of 4. Just make a first step. And you feel, if you choose a scenario, you feel where you are, how do you feel, what do you see in 1 week. You make one more step and you see where you are in 1 month. Continue, feel it, where you are if you make this choice. See and feel yourself in 3 months if you make this choice. And continue walking with your own tempo, what is comfortable for you. Feel how does it feel where you are in 6 months when you make this choice. Just do a check what your body tells. Do you feel an expansion, what we discussed today? Or do you want to shrink in? If there is an area in your body which is a bit tense, let's do one more step. And you project yourself, see where you are in 9-12 months if you make this choice. And once you feel it's enough, you have an answer, you can move back and stand at the same crossroad where we started. Yes, we can see you, Marcela. Okay, so once you are ready, project a screen in front of your eyes. Feel the second possible choice, the second scenario. And then again, just let your body to choose the right path. Do you go straight, backward, left, or right? And once you're ready, do it. So I suppose you go to the left diagonal, yes? If I can see. Yes, it's also nice to have a bit of more space, but well, sorry Marcela, since it came in flow, I did it for you. Again, please feel where you are in 1 week. What kind of feelings comes, emotions, thoughts, what kind of pictures comes when you see yourself in 1 week once you make this choice. You continue walk and then you experience where you are, how you feel in 1 month in this scenario. Feel how right it's for you, how much it resonates with you. By making one more step forward, you feel and see yourself in 3 months. by following this scenario. And let's do one more step and see where you are in 9-12 months, if you choose it. I just will repeat again. Feel if there is any tension, how your body responds. Do you feel that there is an expansion, or opposite, a feeling that you would like to shrink in? And once you are ready, Marcella, I would like to invite you to the beginning, to the crossroads. Okay. The last scenario left, so take your time, kind of tune in into the last scenario, see it in front of your eyes on the screen. And again, once you're ready, feel with your body where you would like to walk. Feel and see where you are in 1 month. Which thoughts come to you? What emotions do you experience? What images come in front of your eyes? How happy and satisfied you are? And by making one more step forward, you move yourself in 3 months' time. Where you are, what do you see? What do you feel? Just experience it fully. Trust the process, trust yourself. We know that our instincts are always right. By making one more step forward, you move in 6 months' time. You do again your body scan, your emotional scan, scan of your thoughts. And let's check how you will feel in 1 year if you choose this scenario. Feel it and see it. Well, Marcella, you can stay as long as you would like, but once you feel you're ready, you just can sit in front of your computer. Yes, some movement is good. Well, before you will sit and share your experience and your insights, I just want to say, of course, it's nice to have a bigger space, and of course you can do like 10 or 15 steps and do checks how I feel in 1 month and 2 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. So it depends how big your decision. But what you don't need to disclose your situation, but I'm just curious, what did you feel?
I love how powerful these exercises are. And I'm happy. I know not for everyone it feels that way, but I can instantly feel my body reacting when taking a step on those paths. So I had 3 options, and my brain could already pick the best one. But by taking the steps and really feel what it did to me, it became much more, I don't know the word for it. It's just tangible, or yeah, I think tangible is the best word I can describe right now. So one of the paths was pushing through, struggling through like a warrior going against it. And I could feel every step I took, I could feel myself be more and more exhausted. And not satisfied with what I did. And I know this feeling, I've been there. So my body instantly recognized all the tension in my shoulders, in my head, of having to do too much. And then the other path was ignoring what I had to do and kind of be in this pony fairy tale world where everything's fine, but I'm not doing what I want to do. And at first that feels pretty okay because I do things that I like. But the farther I got, the more I felt like I was holding myself back, as we discussed. Really, yeah, being held back and disappointed in myself for not living up to my potential. And that sounds so big, but I mean, yeah, really, really feeling that I know there's more inside of me, but I didn't let it out. Something like that. And then the last, or I did it. We don't know the order I did it in, but the one that my brain thought was the best. By taking the first step, I already felt much more empowered, and really grounded. I could really feel my feet on the ground, being centered and anchored and solid. I could really feel a solid base. And then the further I got, this kind of from the bottom up, it expanded into almost like a goddess with huge wings, just standing there, expanded, fully aware and shining, and yeah, beautiful. I wish everyone could feel that. So what I love about doing this is it's not only a head decision, but it's made with all these layers, as we talked about. It's integrating all parts of you, your emotions, your energy, your spiritual, your soul, your brain, every part of it. So yeah, I love how that instantly makes things clear. Yeah.
Yes, this is one of the answer on your question. So this is body-mind connection, and how do it just by practicing it. Maybe if I say to do it every day, it's too much. But every other day, for small decisions and for big decisions, out of curiosity, not taking it like it's a big task or a big exercise to do, but really out of curiosity. And in the end, our body always knows. It always gives an answer. And it's like, I always knew it. Like, for whatever reason, I didn't want to look it or I didn't want to admit it. But it was pretty clear from the beginning. I knew it. This is what quite often I hear from people when we do this exercise.
Yeah. Well, I hope everyone who joined, or if you have done it with us, or take your time to do it whenever you have more space or more time, take your own steps. I hope you will do that. But for now, I want to thank Anastasia really, really, with all my heart, for sharing, yeah, this conversation and your practices. And yeah, I hope to see everyone in the next session. So thanks.
Yes, thank you so much. Again, it was really a pleasure. And I hope that it's beneficial for people who will watch this video.
Yeah. And until we meet and connect and resonate again, yeah, we'll see each other.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye bye.